Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's continue with our basic authentication plugin. So a few things I want to change in my header and footer plugin. These are things you will need to do whenever you're creating a new website. You may need to change the views of the other plugins to better match your website. So in this case, the header and footer, we're going to have to make a few changes. So we're going to go to our plugins section here and go to header footer, and I will go to views, and this is the footer here. So just remove the BG light here because that's the part that gives it that color, and here I will just remove BG light and shadow like this. Okay, so once I do that and I refresh, at least we just have a white thing and another here. Now you've noticed that we have new pages, the sign up and login page here. However, we don't have those links up over here. Now the thing to always keep in mind is that code for let's say the authentication plugin should all stay within that plugin, so that once you remove the plugin you don't get any errors. So once in a while, what you can do is, after coding a bit, you can remove your plugin or change the folder or something just to see if you get any errors from the other plugins. Then you know that plugin is isolated from the others, and that's a good thing. If you get errors, then you did something wrong. You should code it a little bit better. Okay, so how do we include links that are from this plugin, and in a way that if we remove the plugin, those links go with it, so that somebody cannot accidentally click on those to go to those non-existent pages? So the way we do is adding a filter. So here we can add a filter in the header footer plugin that other plugins can plug into if they want to add items to the menu. So let's see how that can be done. So here, if I go to header footer plugin, which is right here, you see there is this part right here that has this link. Now there's a home page there, home link. What we should do instead is create a loop over here. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say if. So let's put PHP tags here. I'm going to say if not empty. So we're looking for links here. So we're going to call it links array. This will be an array that will contain all the links. And then we're going to put it over here like so, PHP and if, like that. Okay, so we move this over. Let me duplicate this and that, and then move this over as well. And I want to put a for each loop here so that we can loop through the links to a single link like that. Now a link will be an object that contains data in here. So for example, here we're going to contain an href. So I'm going to put a link here and then do what will this be? This will be the slug. So instead of that, let's not remove root. I think root should always be there, and then we do slash, and then we're going to put the link slug like this. So that's what we're going to be calling the part of the section that represents the URL of that link. It will be called the slug. And then here, in a similar manner, we can put the actual title of that. So link title like this. So at least here we expect a title, a slug at the least. So this is the lowest thing we're going to be looking for. Okay, so the reason we do this now is so that we can actually add and edit these links. So at minimum, this should have both of these. So let's go now to the plugin itself. This is header footer plugin itself. And this is the part where we go into the header, right? So let's create the actual one link at least. So here I'm just going to create the links. Usually we're going to read this from the database, but we haven't created all that. We will upgrade. We are slowly upgrading these plugins at a time. So links is going to be equal to, I want to create an empty array, but I want it in form of an object. So I will create an empty array and cast it as an object. And then I'm going to say links. And wait, actually this is not right. Links will be an empty array like that. The items in there are the objects. So I'm just going to say link is equal to, and then do object like that. Okay. And then I will say link. So here you can put IDs because these are likely going to come from the database. So let's just say ID 0, just so we match what could come from the database, because usually we have a primary key in the database known as ID. So let's just try to replicate that. So, and then we have a title. This one is the home page. And then we will have also the slug. So slug here is just home, small letters like that. Yeah, I think this is all we need for now. Let's make them look prettier, though this is not necessary at all. Let's see. So we can move a bit behind. Okay, I guess we can move further. All right, so that's a slug, that's a title, great. And so we'll have links, but let's add this to the overall links array. So I'm going to do that and say is equal to link like this. Now this is all well and good, but how do we have other plugins add to this list? So all we need to do is say links, and we're going to say is equal to, and we do a filter on this one like this. Now we have to create a hook that we can call from another plugin to run this part. So here, the usual thing to do is to put a plugin ID. That's how we're going to be do it, and then a dot and underscore, and then underscore. Let's give it a name that's unique in this particular plugin, because since we're adding a plugin ID, it will always be unique to this plugin. So here we just have to make sure whatever we type here is unique in this particular plugin. So this is before, we can call it before links, before menu links, something like that. And here we put links themselves like so. Okay, good. So what we're doing is here there will be an original one item, but then if any other plugin wants to add additional stuff, it will do that right over here before we actually display it. So let's get back here and refresh. You see that nothing really has changed. However, if I remove this, you will notice that this will disappear. Okay, so let's put that back again like so. All right, so far so good. We have that. Now let's add those pages. So now if I want to actually add to this list, all I need is to just do something similar like this. But what I'll do is in the basic auth, but I need to call this hook. So what I'll do is go to my basic auth part here and go to my plugin PHP. So I will duplicate this part because this is how we add actions. But in this case, we here I'll say add menu links. Okay. So you can describe which plugin you're targeting here, but usually the hook will have the plugin ID first. So this is add filter. And I know the plugin ID is header dash footer, like so. But then we have underscore before menu links. So just by doing this, I'm tapping into the other hook from the other plugin. So these are two different plugins, but one is calling a function from the other. And I don't need to include anything. And always remember that a filter has to return whatever it was supplied. So in this case, we'll supply it with links, and we must return links like this. So once we do that, nothing will change, but then we get an opportunity here because we know those links will pass through here before they display. So then we actually have a chance to add to those links. So here I will add to this with login. And what's the slug? It's just login like that. And then we add to the links array. And I want to add also sign up. And this one will, it could be register or something instead of sign up. But this is what we've got. So I'll leave it like that. Now, of course, we're going to add more than this. We'll add images as well, just to make it more advanced. So let me just add those two there, like this. So here we can have an image like a thumbnail, and then we can have permission like that. So now permission helps you to display specific menu items depending on the current user that's there, what permissions they have. Like for example, if a user cannot edit users, there's no need to have edit user in the menu if they are not even allowed to do that. So that's one way of doing things. So permission, and then an image. This will be for thumbnails, for example. If you need that, or you need icons on menu items, you can put those there. So instead of image, you can call it icon. Maybe that's more appropriate. So let's do that instead. Let's just say icon. All right, and permission here should just be like this. In fact, here the permission we should have is, we should show these when a user is not logged in, right? So let's use that instead. Okay, so let's get back here. So now that I've added those, if I refresh, you see now I have home, login, and sign up. Now the beauty of this is that if I remove the basic Auth plugin, then these two just disappear. I don't get them anymore, and I don't get an error. So let's test that theory. So if I come back here and go to basic Auth, I want to open the plugins folder. So say open folder. I will cut this folder out of here and just paste it anywhere outside here. Okay, so that's a refusal right there. Let me delete this. Okay, so it's refusing, and I'm guessing that's because I have these files open in here. So let me close all these files. Close all files. Let's open the plugin folder again. Let me cut basic Auth and paste it here. Okay, so that too is proving to be a problem. I don't know where I have opened this thing that's giving me these headaches. Okay, let me just rename it from here, or just move it. Okay, what I'll do is let me disable it instead. So I'm going to go to the config and disable. So I'm just going to say false where it says active here, so that this doesn't load anymore. So if I now refresh, it takes me to the page 404, and you see that the menu items actually disappear. If I go to home, that's all I have. Try to go to login, I can't find that page. So let's try login here. It's not there, right? And the moment we switch on the plugin like that, everything comes back to life. So let me go back here. I didn't save. Did I save? Yes, I did. All right, so it doesn't seem to work, but keep in mind that even though it's active here, it has specific pages where this plugin runs. So either on the login or on the sign up page only. So if in this case I happen to navigate to the login page like so, this is where you will see what we have here, the login and the sign up. So those two only show up where the plugin is running because they are being added by the plugin itself. So in a situation like this, where we want these to be available everywhere, then we will have to load the plugin everywhere. So we'll change that to all like that. It is responsible for authentication anyway, so it would be a good idea to just run it on every single page like so. Okay, great. So now that we have this, we need to activate this for when we post something. So what we'll do is go to the plugin itself, basic auth, plugin.php, and then we are in the controller. So it's better to deal with what was posted in the controller. So we have controller here going on, but we only want this to run when something was posted. So what we will do is we'll create request new core request like that, so that we can deal with requests. And then here we can check in that request thing to see if something was posted like that. So we need to put this in an if statement and say, if a request posted like this, then we run this. Okay, simple. If nothing was posted, this part will be ignored. This will just run like that, and that will be it. All right. So with that, we are good. So let me go to, where else here should I go? Login, sign up. Okay, great. So now we are loading the controller.php, which is inside controllers and then controller. So we know that we'll only come here when something was posted. So we can do this to show what was posted, and we can get that from the request post like that. So that's the content of the post request. So at this point, if I decide and say like that, you see we have an empty array over there. Okay, so I can click empty array. So an empty array just means these guys have no names. So let's give those guys some names. So if we go to basic auth view, we go to the login page. If I look at this input here, I need to give it a name. It doesn't have a name. So that input and that one both need names. So one will be email, the other one will be password. So here I will change this email like that. Okay, great. So I will refresh. If I click now, you see we have those two inputs, email and password. So that is great. And then if I had typed an email, for example, and say login, you will see it there, but you won't see it here anymore once it logs in, right? Or once the page has refreshed. So once again, we need to add that value, and then we do old value to make it stick. And then let's close that. And then in here, we will put the key that we are dealing with, and then comma, a default value if we have any. But in this case, we don't have a default value, so that is enough. Here, let's put password. Password like that. Okay. So if I now refresh the page, you will see that it gives me back my email. And let's make sure the password remains as well. So there we go, email and password. Then we also need a message here. It says, please log in to continue, but we want to put a message here that tells us whether or not email was correct or not. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to leverage Bootstrap because we have Bootstrap, sorry. We will add a div over here. All right. So we want to create an alert. So I'm just going to put the classes that Bootstrap uses, alert danger, and then text center, like so. So this will be, we'll say this is an error, something like that. And let me add margin on the top and bottom, like that. So here you put whatever classes or styles you want. In case you're not using Bootstrap, just remember that you're not restricted to using Bootstrap. So that's how a Bootstrap error looks like, error message. Maybe I didn't need the margins here because it seems there's enough space already. But that's where I wanted to say wrong email or password right there when that happens. Okay, so this is an error, that's great. But we have to start with our sign up instead of our login page. So let's do exactly what we've done here, but on the sign up page. So if I come back here, let me go to sign up. Let me grab this, copy that. Let's go to sign up. And right after this, I will post that. This is an error. And then input. Let me just select the inputs like this so I can type everything at one go, and then I will do value like that and do PHP old value. Okay, let's close that. We'll use just the first one here, and then after that we will put also what did I put on this? I forget the other thing. Name. We need a name. So let's put a name. Oops. Name in this case is email for the first one here. So then let's go down the road. Wait, actually this is for first name. So let's go and edit all of these. So we'll have first underscore name as the column name. So of course you can name these columns whatever you want. So maybe you don't like putting underscore, you can just say first name as one word. This and that should have type text like that. Only this one should be email. Let me remove all of this. This is type email address. Okay, last name type text, password type password. Okay, that's great. The name here will be password. The name here will be retype underscore password. Okay, so we will copy these guys into here and the same that into here, and then we have that email. That's great. And I think that's about right. So names are there and the values are there, and there's an error over here, which is great. So if I come back here, now I say sign up, this is what I get. I get that emptiness, and this is an error. Let's add some stuff here like names and stuff, just to see if things will stick. Okay, and then we're going to put our password, and let's put another password over here, and let's click sign up. So you see the information down here, and the information stays here if we do that. So information keeps, and we have that there, and we have that error. Awesomeness. So things are progressing. Now we put the meat of the matter to finish up the sign up and login process. I'll see you in the next video.